Oh, welcome back to the basement workshop. Oh man, this is a very dusty workshop. I can sweep the walls actually. It's crazy. I've been doing so much sanding on this off-channel project that I've been working on. It's my kitchen table. It's turned into a craft table over the years, as evidenced by the Trainer YT15 base cabinet restoration project that I pretty much kicked this channel off with. You saw me doing work in the kitchen, especially reconing the speakers and working on the grill cloth. Yeah, that table has seen some abuse. Some by me, mostly by my wife and kids in their various painting projects. So, in a fitting tribute to send that thing off into the sunset, well, didn't send it off into the sunset, I rebuilt it, resurfaced it, and it looks pretty cool now. But I think the last project I did on it was probably redoing the grill cloth on the YT15 cabinet. Same company that I used to reskin that grill, so to speak, Newcastle Fabrics. So they're actually the manufacturer that supplied Acoustical Solutions, and they actually sent me the fabric. So, in honor of that and a future partnership that we're going to be working on together with some remnants that they sent me, I called them up and asked them, hey, do you have any remnants of grill cloth? Just offcuts that you couldn't sell because they were too small or whatever. I'd like to see if I could get my hands on them and turn them into something cool. I need something right now that I can do quick, fast, and in a hurry over the span of maybe 1 to 2 nights down here in the workshop, so I can get back to my P-base build. So now I'm going to take my Peavey 118, so 118D 4-ohm Black Widow cabinet. This grill is not really jacked up. It's actually in good shape, so I'm not going to destroy this grill. I'm going to preserve it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'll probably just put it in a closet somewhere, but what I do want to do is I want to make another one like this and put some of that brand new Newcastle Fabrics grill cloth on it and see what I can come up with. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make up a new frame, and I'm going to factor in the size of the aluminum because that's really the outside dimension of this. So I'm going to work within that, within a couple of millimeters of that. So let's get started measuring, and we'll get to cutting. We'll rip some of this pallet wood that I've already planed and thicknessed on the jointer planer, and we'll build a frame, paint it black, slap some cloth on it, see what it looks like. Alright, so the Peavey cab on the grill just used a very simple butt joint. And that's all I'm going to do. I was going to do something fancy just to get practice in on different types of joinery, but dude, come on. Let's do something simple and quick if we can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to square this up, and I'm going to glue and screw it. First, I need to push some pilot holes in it. Alright, so the pilot holes are now drilled, everything is square and aligned and set up based on my marks, so I can easily reference that when I go to glue and screw it. So the next thing I've got to figure out is there's a little piece of particle board here for the logo to screw into for this glorious Peavey name badge. So I want to retain that, and it looks like, you can see this, they kind of notched it out in this this strip of wood across the top. So I need to take some measurements on it and I need to try and, well, I need to try and reproduce that. Beautiful. So once we got everything glued and screwed, then what we can do is we can spray paint it black. Then we can upholster this sucker. All right, so we're good to go. If I had some black spray paint, which I thought I had, I'd go shoot some paint on this thing and then we could cover it with some cloth as soon as it dried. But seeing as how I don't have any black spray paint, I am going to paint this in the morning or after I have a chance to get some, come back, and then we'll put some grow cloth on it after it dries. When I did the dry mock-up, I forgot to go actually test fit it in the cab, and now I've got an issue. So it's too tall. So I'm about to mark, I've already marked how much I need to cut off. I'm glad I did it before the glue dried, because otherwise it would have been much more difficult. But nevertheless, I gotta zip off about a ½ inch. All right, let's see if I did better this time. And yes, I just need to round off these corners so they snug in past these metal pieces, and we'll be good to go. All right, so I've got some decisions to make on what fabric I want to use on this. I've got some smaller scraps that I know are not going to fit, including a remnant from the Trainer YT15 build. I don't want to use that because obviously I already have a cab using that fabric, so this is out of the picture. Again, special thanks to Newcastle Fabrics. This is not like a paid endorsement or a paid sponsorship for this video, but they did hook me up with a tremendous deal on these remnants. These were smaller remnants that I actually had one of the coolest people on planet Earth sew together for me, that being my mom. God love her, she still likes to be involved with stuff and still likes to do stuff. So she asked if she could help me out and put these together because I was telling her about some projects I was going to do, and I was going to take these to a local seamstress or dry cleaner and have them do it. She's like, come on, let me bust out my old sewing machine, I can do it for you. And she did a wonderful job. So I had these two panels that were really just too small to really do anything in terms of acoustic panels with, and she put a nice seam right down the middle. And this is actually, I believe, the factory replacement Peavey cloth for this era of amp. So Newcastle does make that. So if you're looking for hard to find speaker grow cloth, from Mesa to Marshall to Fender to Trainer, like I said, they manufactured the hard to find vintage Trainer amp grow cloth, to even Peavey stuff, they've got it. And chances are they're supplying it to other retailers. So this is if I wanted to go original, this would be the kick. Now this one is really, really interesting. I like this one a lot. I think this would look awesome. I love this one. So the question is, am I okay with the seam being straight down the middle? I don't think I can do it vertically. Now, it'd have to be a horizontal seam right down the middle. So the question is, am I okay with that? And on an acoustic panel, yes. On a sound treatment panel, I'm absolutely fine with that. On this, I don't know that I want to have that. I don't want to have that seam down the middle, but this is just a wonderful, wonderful, really cool cloth. As is this. Now this one, for some reason, I don't mind the seam going vertically as much as I do horizontally. And then I've got this kind of tan version of factory original Peavey stuff. This I feel like is going to be too clear. It's not going to work well over a black background, or a black speaker. I don't think it's going to cover it. So this stack is out of all the seamed stuff, but man, it looks really, really good. So this is gray and silver. and then more of a black and silver. Again, each side of the fabric is a little different. I think there's certainly a front face and a back face. So this is, I think, the right facement of it. Dude, I really don't think I can go wrong either way. And then there's this guy, which if I can find a spot that's not been, again, I got seconds and remnants. So a lot of this has spots that were pulled. Again, I don't care on acoustic panels, but on this speaker grill, I do want it to be right. I do want it to be really good. So this one's out. The cool thing is it'll fit on the short end. I'm gonna have to go with the gray and silver. I think this is too cool looking not to use. So I think that's what I'm gonna go with. I also want to deal with these creases. So I am going to attempt to not melt this stuff, because I think pulling it out, I probably can, but I want to make it easier. So I'm going to go try and iron this without melting it. So I'll be right back. I ironed it on both sides with a towel on a high steam setting. It helped. It didn't fix it, but it did help, and I think the rest over time will pull out after it's on the frame. So the right thing to do would be to hang this for a period of time or stretch it. I'm an impatient individual and I want to get this done, so I'm just going to do it as I've got it right now. Again, this will be a good experiment to see if it pulls out or not. So I get to make the mistake and you don't have to. So that's a cool thing. All right, so what I'm going to do right now is eventually I probably am going to trim it off. This is the factory edge. I just got to determine whether I want to work my way to the top edges before I do the side edges. And I'm thinking I'm leaning that way. All right, so I've got one more task to do before we can call this thing a day. And that is, gotta keep the name plates, bro. So I kind of dig that. Oh no, you got a crack. I have to fix that with some CA glue. Very cool. All right, let's go get it on the cab. All right, so this is my Peavey 118. I've had this since I was 16 or 17 years old. I really like this cab. I've done a couple modifications to it. So this is the original basket for this Peavey Black Widow. Again, this is an 18-inch. It's not a sub, it's just a base cab. I have had this professionally reconed, and when I did that, I had them switch out the voice coil to an 8-ohm voice coil versus what was in here before, which was a 4-ohm. And the reason why I wanted to do that is because I wanted to get an identical enclosure and convert it to a 4x10 and set it on top, just to make like a monster stack. And I haven't gotten that far to do that. But so when you run two 8-ohm cabs on an amp head, it puts a 4-ohm load on the amp head, which is a pretty standard running operating number for a cab. All right, this is what I was afraid of. It's a little too tall. I thought I adjusted for that enough. I wanted it tight because I didn't want to do Velcro, I just wanted a friction fit. Let's see if I can massage this in place. I think I can. Should have folded the corners the opposite way. That would have given me the clearance that I needed. But I think we can get this in. Dude, what do you think? I like it. Now imagine a matching 4x10 sitting on top of that. What amp head would you run on that cab setup? All right, that's gonna wrap it up for this episode of The Basement. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the support. Please smash the like button, give me a thumbs up, drop me a comment. What should I have done differently? What could I have done better? I'm learning. This is all new to me. I like making mistakes and doing kind of cool, fun projects like this. But I'm gonna get back to that Fender P-Bass build. After that, we'll get started on some acoustic treatment for the room here. Big shout out and thank you to my friends at Newcastle Fabrics for hooking me up with some remnants. You'll see more of that fabric on the acoustic panel build in future build series. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.